This coming Sunday will be the second Sunday of Advent, and Advent means an arrival or a coming into place or an appearing. And as Pastor John shared on Sunday, Advent's not really just a season, but a way of living with confident hope in God who is on the throne, God who reigns, and hope in Jesus, the Lamb, Jesus our Immanuel, God with us, that he saves and that he will come again. This December in Children's Church, the kiddos are learning about some people who may have missed the meaning and significance of Christmas when Jesus was born. Last week, we learned with them about the innkeeper. His life was too crowded, and the townspeople, they were too preoccupied. So how can we keep from being too busy? From being so preoccupied that we miss Jesus? We miss his significance. We miss our need for him. Let's meet a couple more people today. First, King Herod. He was jealous. Matthew 2, verses 1 through 3, and then 7 through 8 say, "Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, 'Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him.' When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled. Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, 'Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, that I may too come and worship him.'" Now, King Herod was pretending he wanted to worship baby Jesus, but really he was afraid that someone would take his power and be called king like he was. He was frightened that this little baby would destroy his career, his position, his power, his riches, and his lifestyle. He was jealous. Do you think people today feel the same way? People continue to miss Christmas today, miss having that relationship with Jesus Christ, Immanuel, God with us, because they are scared that he will change their life. They like things just the way they are. They like having the power to be king of their own lives. Our default position, and it's us too, is to be king of our own kingdom, to try to rule and reign ourselves, rather than accept a ruler and reigner in our hearts, in our homes, in our minds, rather than giving all glory and honor and authority to the real king, Jesus. Now, the chief priests and the scribes, they also missed Christmas. They were too proud. Matthew 2, verses 3 through 6 reads, "When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where Christ was to be born. And they told him, 'In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel.'" The chief priests and the scribes knew the answer. They knew the scriptures and understood where the Messiah was to be born, and yet they never went there. They never checked it out. The people had longed for a Savior for years and years, and yet when they heard this rumor and were asked by the king about it, they didn't go the 2 miles down the road to check it out. Why not? Because they were indifferent. Perhaps they thought they didn't need a king anymore, or not a king like that, or maybe they were too proud on who they were and they didn't need anything anymore from anybody. They were comfortable, they were lukewarm, absorbed in themselves, not interested. They didn't realize, perhaps they forgot how much they needed a king, a savior. Sometimes I forget that. They forgot their own sinfulness, that they needed to be saved. People today are also indifferent to the miracle and significance of Jesus' birth and miss Christmas and Jesus. Next week, we're going to learn about a few more groups who miss Christmas, but in the meantime, how can we worship well this Advent season? Ensuring our hope is rooted in him, our Savior who loves us and is God with us, our wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. We can have fun and enjoy the seasonal goodies and with joy in our hearts because we know the truth of what this special season means. It's about King Jesus, who was and is and is to come. We know that he came once. We know that he is coming back. And in an age where pride is considered a virtue, where self-preservation and self-promotion and self-love is always the top priority, may we all pause and reflect on the one who humbled himself, set aside his glory to step down, to sacrifice himself and save us, to be our Immanuel, God with us. May he be your focus and foundation this season and always. God bless you. I will see you on Sunday.